Hello friends and welcome. My name's Popeye and today we're playing some more Steins Gate. Last time we started on the true ending, we continued on the true ending path, and it looked identical to the one we had just done for the Paradox Meltdown, and we were getting a bit frustrated. And then we got to the credits, and during the credits we get a phone call from Suzuha telling us to meet her on the roof. And that's where we finished off. As we came up onto the roof, her time machine is here. It didn't crash into the building. Well, first of all, it's on the roof of our building. I'm pretty sure. Or no, is it on Roddycon? It might still be on Roddycon. It's on the roof of a building, and it didn't crash into it. And we just arrived, and we're like, yeah, what the heck's that? Or at least they are, because they don't remember it. We obviously do. Yeah, let's dive into it. Based on what I saw, I think there's going to be 2 episodes of this true ending, so I don't think we're getting to it today. But let's get into it.
ロボじゃね？変形とかしたりして。
Mayuri and Dario are just as surprised. What is that thing? I mean, it looks like Suzuha's time machine, but there's something different about it. Also, just a reminder, this is now the Beta World line. This is Suzuha coming to us not from the Alpha World line, the Beta World line. Suzuha's looked old and beat up. This one looks brand new. It's not stuck in the wall either. Besides, once again, if I just shut up and advance text, they would make the exact same point I was making in about 3 slides. Besides, this is the Beta World line, where CERN's dystopia never forms. Suzuha has no reason to travel to 2010. That satellite shouldn't be here. And yet, I feel like I've seen it before. Where? When did I? Of course, it was at Dr. Nakabachi's presentation. Right before the presentation started, something shook the building like an earthquake. I went to check the roof. The satellite was sitting there. So that explains, or that answers my question. So this is the top of Roddycon, because that's where Dr. Nakabachi's presentation took place. Though still confused, I approached the satellite. Just then, the hatch opens, and someone steps outside. Suzuha looks a little more, military than before. Also, how is her name question marks?
Okabe, Rintaro.
Suzuha!
It really is her. The part-time warrior, John Titer, time traveler from 2036, Daru's daughter who will be born 7 years from now.
なんでだ？なんでお前がここにいる？
I asked her the same question over the phone, but I can't help myself. I need answers.
質問に答えて。君が岡部倫太郎？
おう。
The way she puts it makes it sound like she's never met me before. Which is true, because this is a different world line. Now that we're talking face to face, I realize that there's something very different about her. For starters, what's with all the camo? It looks dirty and worn, like she's been fighting in it for a while. She's even carrying a gun. For some reason, I'm pretty sure it's not a replica. I'm just looking to see if they actually drew the gun. I don't see it. But let's assume it's there. Is she really a Mane Suzuha?
いや待て。ちょっと待て。
This doesn't make sense. No, calm down. Figure this out, Okabe. You know that this is impossible. Suzuha can't be here. She leapt to 1975 in her one-way time machine. She found the IBN 5100, made sure it would get to you, and passed away in the year 2000. That's still on the Alpha World line. So where did this girl come from?
私は2036年から来たタイムトラベラー。オカリンおじさんに頼みがあるの。
Uncle? We know what happens when people become uncles, right?
おじさんなの？
We don't have time to humor Mayuri's question. Suzuha walks up to me, looks me in the eye. Her expression is grim. Next words out of her mouth are the last thing I expected to hear.
この世界線の未来では第三次世界大戦が起きちゃうんだ。それを回避するために私に協力して過去を変えてお願い。
Well, looks like we're going to a different world line.
なんだよそれ。なんなんだよそれは。
第三次世界大戦って大変だ
いやつうかさ、タイムトラベラーってマジ？釣りじゃなくて？
父さんは黙ってて。
父さん？はあ、びっくりした。謎の美少女にいきなり父さん呼ばわりされたでござる。どうせならお兄ちゃんと呼んでくれ。
Dang it, Daru.
待ってくれ。
I take a deep breath. Okay, let's figure this out. I turn to Suzuha.
そこにある人工衛星のようなものはタイムマシンか。
Suzuha nods curtly. She hasn't smiled once. There's no hint of the cheerful Suzuha I remember. Instead, I sense strength, conviction, and steel resolve.
お前の父親が作ったのか。
そうだよ。
Suzuha glances at
お
Daru.
前は一体どこから来た。
2036年から1975年2000年を経由して。
経由だって。
That doesn't make any sense. She's obviously not in her 40s, which means...
あのタイムマシンは未来方向にも跳躍できると言いたいのか。
そうじゃなきゃタイムマシンとは呼べないじゃん。
This isn't the Suzuha I know, but it is
お
Suzuha.
前は違う未来から来た。
違う未来。
2036年はどんな状況なんだ。セルンによるディストピアは。
セルンって何？ディストピア？
Cool, so we don't have dystopia, we just have world war. Suzuha frowns. She doesn't know about CERN? That settles it. She's definitely not the Suzuha I know.
さっき第三次世界大戦が起きると言ったよな。
そう。その戦争で人類の総人口は10億人まで減ったの。
Less than a billion people. 'Cause I haven't checked recently. Last time I checked, we were, like 7.5 billion? So, like a seventh or an eighth of humanity is remaining.
10億って、今の総人口って67億人ぐらいじゃなかったっけ？だとしたら
Once again, I should
57億
just
人も死んだってこと？
let the game tell me exactly how much it was in 2010. I assume those are accurate numbers, that they actually did a quick Google search on the population in 2010.
核兵器が使われてね。かつての冷戦構造にそっくりだった。きっかけはタイムマシン。EU とロシアによる開発競争が火種になって、それにアメリカまでが横やりを入れたから収拾がつかなくなった。
Dang it, America. Bringing in the nukes.
世界を滑る可能性を持つ夢の装置。それを手に入れることは、過去から未来までを全て手中に収めるっていうことになるわけだから。
Time travel again? Has the power to grant your dreams and at the same time destroy everything you love. I know that better than anyone.
2036年には戦争は終結してるけど、地球はボロボロ。もうさ、人がまともに住める世界じゃないんだ。
It's unbelievable. In the future of the Alpha World line, CERN used their time machine to fashion a dystopia where no one could oppose their rule. Suzuha traveled to the past to change that. She showed me how to escape that convergence. The result is this, the Beta World line. Here, CERN fails to complete its time machine. Instead, 5.7 billion people die in the fires of nuclear war.
そんなのありかよ。
And it's still over time machine, so even though CERN doesn't do it, it still happens. Or CERN still does it and they're just not aware. My legs fold beneath me. I sink to my knees.
オカリン、大丈夫？
And this is the best time to remind everyone that we also just destroyed the IBN 5100, and we have no way to send any D-mails or anything. We have Suzuha's time machine, of course. Mayuri kneels beside me and gently rubs my back. I'm too stunned to respond to her kindness. I glare at Suzuha. Though I know it's absurd, part of me blames her. I will explain nothing. How are you doing, Mim?
なんでこんなことになってるんだ。お前が言ったんだぞ。ベータ世界線なら平和な未来が待っているって。
We saved Mayuri. We changed the future. And now, after everything we did, Suzuha appears before me once again to say that it wasn't enough.
今が未来への大きな分岐点で。
そんなのは知ってる。
だったらわかるでしょ。このままじゃ57億人が死ぬんだよ。戦争が終わったって何も残ってない世界に私たち放り出されるんだよ。あんなひどい世界を変えるために私はここに来たの。
This is a game that just,
過去を変えるため
every
に
time you have a
オ
glimmer
カ
of
リンおじ
hope,
さんの協力が。
just comes over and just kicks you in the nuts. I
断る。
reject her plea outright. Suzuha looks hurt, betrayed, like an abandoned puppy. How dare she look at me that way? I borrow Mayuri's shoulder and struggle back to my feet.
俺はアルファ世界線からここに来た。俺の大事な女の子の命を犠牲にしてまでここにたどり着いたんだ。
I can't go back, not to the world line where Mayuri dies.
57億人が死のうと知ったことかよ。あいつのクリスの犠牲を無駄になんかさせないからな。
One person versus 5.7 billion. They can't be compared. Suzuha is staring at me in disbelief. Mayuri and Daru clearly don't know what to say. I haven't told them what happened, so they can't understand.
つまりおじさんは別のアトラクタフィールドにいたってこと？すごい。それが例のリーディングシュタイナーなんだね。
なぜその名を？
父さんから聞いてる。それに私もオカリンおじさんとは会ったことがあるん
If
だ。
you've met me before, when you got off your time machine, why did you ask, am I who I am, if you've literally met me before? Okabe doesn't seem like the kind of person to go through a midlife crisis and, like, change his wardrobe. Or his, like, look.
俺と？
そっか。そしてそっちのアトラクタフィールド
Yeah,
で
we're a lot younger, but still, he doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would change a whole lot of his appearance. A faint smile flickers across her face, then she looks at me with renewed intensity.
オカリンおじさん、
Stop calling us uncle, you know what happens to uncles here.
おじさんは断るって言ったけど。
そうだ。クリスの死は無駄にしない。マユリを殺させはしない。
マユシは死んじゃう さっきから言ってるそのクリスって牧瀬クリスのことだよね。
Yes, I've watched all of Steins Gate Zero.
聞いておじさん。もしもだよ。この世界線の未来を変えるために必要なのが2010年7月28日に亡くなった牧瀬クリスを助けることって言ったら。
Shock ripples through my body. What did she say? Save Kurisu? But how? No longer have the phone wave for the time leap machine. All we have is this giant time machine standing right behind her. Whatever shall we do? I don't actually recall his style in Steins Gate Zero. And, like, if I don't remember it I'm gonna quickly Google it, but I didn't remember it, so that didn't strike me as something that changed. Okabe in Steins Gate Zero. What do you look like? Like, he ditches the lab coat, but his overall style is still very similar. Yeah, he wears a suit, and he goes from his all-white motif to all black. The way I see it is he's just trying to look the most presentable for the profession he has. Whereas in, like, Steins Gate Zero, he's trying to be more of, like, an actual scientist who wants to look professional. Whereas here he's trying to be a mad scientist. So he's got the, like, you know, the, like, white lab coat, the thing you associate mad scientists with. Like, I guess it's a change in the clothing style, but his mindset is the same to me. Of course. I look over Suzuha's shoulder, the object disguised as a satellite.
タイムマシン。これがあれば。
Yes, I agree with you. The clothing is completely different, but the reason why he wears it is the same. At least that's my interpretation of it. And he doesn't change his hairstyle or anything like that. Came all the way from 2036. Should have no trouble going back a mere 3 weeks. Even better, this time machine can do what Alpha Suzuha's could not. Can travel to the future. Yeah, it does. It looks like he actually, you know, ran a comb through it. Although I would attribute that to the fact that he's not constantly trying to figure out how to not let people die. I can go to July 28th, save Kurisu, and return to the present. No D-mails, no time leaps. Genuine physical time travel. I can't refuse. I literally can't refuse. I mean, you can. You're just not going to. I saw this time machine once before, on July 28th, that fateful day. Now, in my head, I'm going, so wait, you saw that time machine, July 28th, on the fateful day. Was that already you, like, coming back in time to try and fix it? Probably not, because you were too late, and you know exactly when it happened, so you shouldn't have been late. Can't be late with a time machine. Shortly before Kurisu was killed, I saw it standing in this very spot, as sure as I see it standing before me now. There's only one thing that can mean. It's already been established that this time machine will appear on that day, in this place. Even before I sent the first D-mail, my participation was assured. Even the thought of turning Suzuha down now is meaningless. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is inevitable. The revelation makes me dizzy. It's like I don't have the tiniest atom of free will, like my every action is from the moment of my birth was planned for me by some cosmic force.
私が望む世界線はオカリンおじさんが通ってきたっていうアルファ世界線だっけ。そこじゃない。目指すべきはアトラクタフィールドの狭間。
The space between attractor... So, if you were already confused with attractor fields, now apparently there's space between them that we can also travel to. The space between?
どのアトラクタフィールドからも一切干渉を受けないたった一つの世界線、通称シュタインズゲート。
Heck yeah. We knew it existed right from the start. That's why we called it that. That's the chuny name I pulled out of my ass. It doesn't even mean anything.
シュタインズゲートはさ、まだ誰も見たことのない未知の世界線らしいんだ。
How do you know it exists if no one has ever seen it?
らしいって、それ誰かが観測したんじゃない？
Thank you, Daru. Please explain this to me.
観測はされてないんだよね。だから未知なわけで。
What is this logic? It's never been observed. That's what makes it new. Okay, guys, there's a new color. None of you have seen it. But it's there, trust me. And it's new and it's wonderful.
でもシュタインズゲートのダイバージェンスは
Hello, Panic. How
お
are
父さんと
you?
オカリンおじさんとですでに割り出されてるよ。
Yes, it's theoretically there, but unproven. But she's talking as if, like, it's proven that it's there.
相対値でここからマイナス 0.081609%。
And Deadbeard is here because of honking. How goes the Steins Gate? It's going pretty well. We're at the point where we're literally in the true ending path right now. And apparently we're learning more physics. And we're gonna go and try and save people that we already killed.
そこがシュタインズゲート。
Well, I hope you remember that number, because I did not.
その世界線に到達するために必要な条件がクリスの救出。
そういうこと。第三次世界大戦を回避する鍵なんだよ。彼女が生きていればさ、戦争は起きない。少なくとも57億人も死なないんだ。
なぜだ？なぜクリスなんだ？確かにクリスは天才少女だが、あいつが57億人を救う英雄だっていうのか？
I love the space between the 5.7. It's like, she's the hero who will save 7 billion people.
よくわかんない。
わからないって。無責任すぎるだろ。
So, what we have here is there's a world line that no one's ever seen, but you're sure it's there, and the only way to get to it is to save this person, and you don't know why. Okay.
私は父さんの立てた計画通りに動いているだけ。
Dang it, Dad.
元はオカリンおじさんが立案
Dang
し
it,
たらしい
us.
んだけど。だからおじさんの計画が間違ってたら私のやってることも意味がない。
I don't know if I would believe Okabe from the future, just
ど
saying.
うしてまた聞き
I
なんだ？
barely believe the present Tim.
直接俺に指示されたわけじゃないのか？
オカリンおじさんは10年ぐらい前、今からだとおよそ15年後、
Chad's just all panicking.
2025年に亡くなった。
The same result is on the Alpha World line.
だから真相はわからない。父さんはオカリンおじさんの意思を継い
The
で
future is
この
chaos.
計画を実行するためにたった一人でタイムマシンを作り上げた。
That's my super haka. Why can't you build this actual time machine on the beta world line, Daru? Saved us a lot of trouble. Must have hacked into CERN and stolen their research, then used it to construct his own time machine. The Alpha world line, CERN killed Daru before he could complete the time machine. Here, Daru was able to perfect his design, that's why it can go back to the future. At least, that seems the most likely explanation. I love how the other two characters are just there like, what the heck are these two people talking about? World lines, attractor fields, this person who's dead, like, they know none of this. And stop calling us uncle.
シュタインズゲートは未知っていうぐらいだから、どんな未来が待っているのか誰も知らない。もしかしたら第三次世界大戦が終結した後でディストピアが構築されるかもしれない。
Stop that.
もしかしたらマキセ・クリスはオカリンおじさんが助けた2日後とかに死んじゃうかもしれない。
The current state of things, I'm very doubtful I will actually be an uncle in real life, which is good, because then I won't have to kill myself. Because that's what we do with uncles.
オカリンおじさんは2025年じゃなくて1週間後に死んじゃうかもしれない。
Cool, we can die next week instead.
でも同時にもしかしたら2036年になるまで第三次世界大戦も起きないしディストピアも構築されないかもしれない。マキセ・クリスも他の誰も死なないかもしれない。素晴らしい未来が待っているかもしれない。少なくとも私がいた2036年でもなくアルファ世界線の私がいた2036年でもなくなるのは確か。
I feel like at this point, the true ending of Steins Gate is every time we make it to a new, like, world line, Suzuha comes from the future, is like, no, it's worse than before. No, we gotta find a new one. Is an unknown future really for the best? I would hate for the ending role to say, despite your best efforts, you made everything worse.
先は見えない。完全な未知。
Kurisu can't be saved. I know that. Even if we change the past, convergence will ensure her death, just as it did for Mayuri. It's impossible. There's no way this plan can succeed. In the end, fate will win, as it always has.
それでも言ってくれるなら、それでも私と一緒に7月28日へ飛んでくれるなら、この手を握って。
I look down at Suzu's hand. Her skin is rough, her palm calloused. This cool, collected, unsmiling Suzuha comes from a ruined world, from the ashes of a war that claimed over 5 billion lives. I can only imagine what she's been through. Kurisu. How I've dreamt of saving her. I would do anything to change her fate. How do I know this invitation won't lead me into another maze of despair?
マユシーは今の話、ちんぷんかんぷんなのです。
You never really did, Mayuri. You never really
でも
did.
ね、そのマキセさんっていう人は、オカリンにとっては大事な人だったんでしょ？だったら頑張るべきだよ、オカリン。
57億人救えるかどうかってのはちっとも想像できないけどな。
Oh, it's getting epic. They're putting the actual song behind it.
ごちゃごちゃ細かいことはいいから、その女の子を助けることだけ考えればいいんじゃね？そうすればモテ期到来確定だし。
Mayuri and Daru offer me encouragement, although from very different points of view. But it's not enough to overcome my doubt. The Makise Kurisu we knew, lab member 004, is already gone. Even if I save her on this world line, she won't remember any of the time she shared with us, so there's no point. I won't bend time to my convenience, not again. I'm not God. I don't have that right. If I try, I'll just end up making things worse. Kurisu pleads with me to stop. And yet, I look at Suzuha's outstretched hand. And then, with resignation, I grasp it firmly.
やるよ。
Yeah, Mayuri's never really understood. Daru has kind of understood things. But yeah, Mayuri has never understood anything from the very beginning. Yes, we're like this, just like... Try though I may to fight it, this choice was made for me on July 28th, the moment I laid my eyes upon this time machine.
結局
This is how we shake in this
俺がお前の手を
timeline.
握るように運命は収束する。
It's like a reverse head pat. Instead of doing like up top, you do a chin pat. I'm not at all confident that I can save Kurisu. How many times have I tried to resist fate only to fail? I don't want to see her die, but if there is a chance, however small, that she can be saved, I have to try. Even if I can't take back what we had, I want more than anything to save her.
一緒に行くよ。
ありがとうオカリンおじさん。
Stop calling us uncle.
じゃあ乗って。
ちなみにそのタイムマシン二人乗り OK なのか。
もちろん私の父さんが作った最高傑作なんだからさ、当然だって。
誰は娘に愛されてるな。
I mean, Daru built it, so I'm expecting like it to have like a waifu AI built into it.
言葉の意味はよくわからんが、とにかく父さんではなくお兄ちゃんと呼べ。
オカリン、絶対帰ってきてね。行ったまま戻ってこなかったら嫌だよ。
I mean, for you it'll appear like we're gone, what, 0 seconds?
別に
Or the world will be reconstructed after we save Christina?
過去にちょっと戻ってくるだけだ。
I pat Mayuri's arm reassuringly. Then I follow Suzuha to the time machine's hatch and slip inside. I'll admit, I was not expecting an inside view of this. I was expecting it to be like, giant flash of light, hey, we're there! The interior is cylindrical and surprisingly tight. You expected it to be nice and roomy inside your time machine, did you? When I sit down on the ledge that rims the cylinder, it puts me face to face with Suzuha. Kind of like one of those giant teacup rides. There are fewer controls than I expected. The inside definitely looks more refined than what I saw of Suzuha's time machine on the Alpha World line. But one thing remains the same. The time display panel. A black screen with red lettering. I guess that's just Daru's taste.
携帯出して。
And yet, I'm pretty sure in the reflection in her eyes it's green text, just saying. No, I'm using my phone. I'm gonna play games on it. Wait, I can call myself? Heck yeah. That would make him Uncle Hunter. When I hand it over, Suzuha casually tosses it out of the hatch. I'd like to point out, as soon as I hand it over, I always try, I want to see if the game screws up, but they've actually been pretty good. Even when they're like, I sent text messages and I've gone in, it's been like, oh yeah, it's not there. Bye phone, it's
持
gone.
っていかない方がいい。混戦するから。
Interference? Oh, I see, we're going to July 28th, so it'll be 2 of me if I bring it 2 of my phone. Guess that could be a problem if I got a call or something. So time travelers really do have to be careful about what they bring to the past.
ハッチ閉めて。
I hear Mayuri and Daru cheering outside. Mayuri caught my phone, thankfully. I give them a final nod, then close the hatch. Silence engulfs us. Suzuha is operating the time display panel. She sets our destination. July 28th, 2010, 11:50 a.m.
時間はこれぐらいでいいかな。
ギリギリすぎないか。
I remember that Dr. Nakabachi's presentation began at 12.
このタイムマシンって場所移動ができないの。
There's the trade-off.
というと
Meaning they literally had to build it on top of this building. And hope that whenever you're traveling, this building still exists, otherwise you're plummeting to your death.
例えばここ、つまりラジカンの屋上からタイムトラベルを開始した場合、どの時間へ飛んでもラジカン屋上の座標にしか到着しないんだ。まあ本当はもっといろいろ複雑な計算してんだけど、今は説明しない。
We literally have enough time. We can go back in time 10 minutes, and then you can explain it to us.
とにかくそういうことなんで、発表会の前日に飛ぶこともできるけどさ、そのせいで騒ぎになって発表会中止とかになっちゃまずいでしょ。だからむしろ時間ギリギリの方がいい。
なるほど。
おじさんってタイムトラベルは初体験だっけ？
あのな、おじさんと呼ぶのはやめてくれ。
Thank you! Stop calling us uncle!
タイムリープは腐るほどやったが、タイムトラベルは初めてだ。ジョン・タイター曰く、かなりの G が発生して引っ張られるような感覚があるらしい。
ああ、それ書いたの私。
ジョン・タイターのことか。
そう、2000年に飛んだ時に。
Aha, John Titor's back.
そうか。
Past has changed. Changed back, I suppose, from my point of view. As on the Alpha World line, I saw Titor post an @channel in real time. This world line, those posts were made in an English BBS near 2000. Because now she can go back and then forward in time.
あんまびっくりしないんだね。
Stop calling me Uncle Popeye. Nothing can surprise me now. My brain's too busy trying to process all this new information. Feels like it's gonna blow.
改めてこのミッションについて説明するね。向こうに着いたらのんびり話してる時間はないはずだからさ。目的はマキセ・クリスの死の回避。
Ever since I returned to this world line, I've avoided all news of Kurisu's murder. I was afraid of setting that result in stone. So I still don't know who killed Kurisu. I don't know how or why she died. I don't know anything at all. If I'd known it would come to this, would I have looked things up? If I still had my phone! I asked myself that question. The answer is no.
アトラクターフィールドによる収束は？
言ったでしょ？その日は分岐点なの。マキセ・クリスの死の可能性は大雑把に計算して 50% なんだよ。
収束は起きないんだな。
起きるかもしれない。多分起きる。でもきっと抜け道があるはず。その抜け道こそがシュタインズゲートの入り口なの。
I mean, we've tried looking for this loophole before, and it didn't really work out. So in the end, it's a gamble.
それと一つ忠告を。ドクター中鉢には気をつけて。
どういう意味だ？
私のいた2036年では第三次世界大戦が起きたって言ったよね。その原因をたどっていくと中鉢論文に行き着く。ドクター中鉢が書いたっていうタイムマシンに関する文書なんだけど。
しかし奴のタイムトラベル理論はジョン・タイターのパクリ。
Wait a minute, John Titor's sitting right in front of me.
つまりタイターがネットに書き込んだことは正しいということか？
一部に嘘は混ぜておいたから、私が書き込んだ時はあんまり相手にされなかったんだけど、まさか10年経って再評価されるとはね。私の書いた理論をもとに独自の考えを加えたみたい。その完成度は とても高いらしいんだ。とにかくドクター中鉢はマキセ・クリスの殺された会場にいたんだよね。だから彼には注意しといて。彼もまた世界線を大きく変えるキーマンのはず。
Dr. Nakabachi? Important? Thought he was just some con artist.
じゃあ行くよ。シートベルトを締めて。
Look under my butt to find what looks like a car seat belt. Wrap it around my waist and fix my body to the seat.
結構揺れるのか？
揺れはほとんどないよ。
You mean it does something else? Wait, is this safe? Suzuha leans forward and pushes a bright yellow button on the bottom of the panel. There are no windows, so I can't tell if the time machine is moving.
たった3週間だからものの 2,3 分で行けるはず。
Suzuha fastens her own seatbelt and sighs.
最初に1975年へ飛んだ時なんかさ、6時間ぐらいかかって暇でしょうがなかったよ。
I guess time travelers have their own problems.
2,3 分だからあえて酸素マスクはしてないけど、タイムトラベルの間この中は無酸素状態になる。
我慢しろと。
ここに。
Suzuha points to the center of the cylinder, space between me and her.
エアポケットができるの。そこに頭を突っ込んでおけばさ、10分くらいは呼吸できるわけ。
なあ、もし仮にクリスを救うのを失敗したらどうなる？
実はそんなに燃料はなかったりするんだよね。もともと入れておいた燃料はギリギリだから。2036年に帰る分の燃料もなかったり。つまり世界線を変えられなかったら私はこの時代に残るしかないんだ。でも心配しなくてもいいよ。8月20日から7月28日への往復はさ、まだ2回ぐらいなら可能だから。
So what she's really saying is we only have 2 chances.
燃料がないならどうやって2036年に帰るつもりだ？
帰る予定はないんだよね。シュタインズゲートへ行けたらこの時代にタイムトラベルしてくる理由はなくなるでしょ。因果が再構成されるんだ。ここにいる私は消滅してきっと2036年で平和に暮らしてるはずだよ。というわけで
So if you're still here,
オカリンおじさんの
not in
頑張り次第。
2036, we screwed up even worse. Her tone is light, but her expression is serious. This is the first time in weeks that we've spoken, but I just now realized something about her. Suzuha is pretty reckless, isn't she? Why am I seeing, like, little virus stars? Suddenly, there's a zapping sound, and countless faint silver lights, apparently that's what silver looks like, start floating around the cylinder. They look like moth dust or powdered snow. The lights slowly change color. Violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, back to silver, violet, blue. Colors of the rainbow? I feel pressure on my entire body, similar to the sensation you feel as you ascend in an elevator. In an elevator, you feel as if you're being pulled downwards. Instead, the time machine feels like it's pulling at my back. The feeling of pressure quickly increases. It starts to feel like I'm falling horizontally. I've never experienced anything like this. It's so uncomfortable I want to scream. The strangest thing is that the time machine itself isn't shaking. In fact, it doesn't seem to be moving at all. There's no noise, no vibration, it's eerie. The pulling sensation grows even stronger. I can hear my bones creaking. I imagine my body flattened like a pancake. It's not a pleasant thought. It's getting worse. I look at Suzuha. She has her eyes shut and her jaw clenched tight. I can no longer move. Feels like my back is glued to the wall. My vision begins to warp. And within my warping vision, the powder of light still shifting through the colors of the rainbow. It's strangely beautiful, like something out of a painting. And still, I keep falling. Where is it taking me? Through a tunnel in space-time? All I know is that I'm falling. Suddenly, everything goes dark. I try to scream, but even my voice falls away. It doesn't even reach my own ears. It's gravity. There's an intense gravitational distortion behind me. And I'm still falling towards it. My vision slowly recovers. The smell of ozone fills my nostrils. Suzuha takes a deep breath and unfastens her
着いた
seatbelt.
よ。
I gulp for air. Did I really just travel through time? If so, then this is July 28th, the day Kurisu and I first met, the day I sent the first email, the day it all began. Suzuha takes out a digital watch. It's a fairly old-fashioned design.
1975年で買ってきたんだ。でもまだ3年も使ってないよ。
This is where an uninformed person would say, in Japanese, please. Suzuha sets the watch to the correct time, then hands it to me. The display reads 11:51. Nakabachi's presentation starts at 12.
出るよ。オカリンおじさんはマキセ・クリスをマークして、殺されるのを阻止して。
How do you expect us to stop a murderer?
お前は
サポートに回る。それと携帯を取り上げた理由と関係するけど、ここには7月28日現在のオカリンおじさんもいる。今世界に岡部倫太郎は2人いることになるの。いい？自分自身との接触は絶対避けて。深刻なタイムパラドックスが発生する可能性があるから。
Then we already know that we came up to the roof in the past.
タイターが言っていたことと違うが。
あれは単なるフェイク情報。
Come to think of it, Alpha Suzuha said the stuff she posted about the many worlds interpretation was fake too.
了解だ。
じゃあ状況開始。終わったらこのタイムマシン前に集合ね。
Suzuha finishes her rushed explanation and motions me towards the hatch. I open the hatch and grab the rim. I squeeze my way out. Suzuha crawls out after me and closes the hatch.
おじさんは隠れて。私がおとりになる。
Suzuha runs up to the emergency door. Then to my astonishment, she draws her gun and fires at the doorknob. The door opens easily. They must have broken the lock. Any minute now, a crowd of people run up the stairs to see what happened. My past self will be among them. Need to hide before they get here. That was a close... Just skip all that. That was a close one. I nearly bumped into myself on the 8th floor landing. Right after I ran downstairs to the 7th floor, I heard footsteps running the other way behind me. Those footsteps were mine, no doubt. It was a near miss. To be safe, I descended to the 4th floor before stopping to take a breath. Take a look around, but there's nobody paying attention to me. I wonder what Suzuha is doing. I'm worried, but I need to focus on my own mission. I must prevent Kurisu's death. In about 30 minutes from now, just after Nakabachi's presentation ends, someone will murder her. I know where it'll happen, in the 8th floor hallway towards the back of the building where people rarely go. What I don't know is who stabbed her. Instead of running around and drawing attention to myself, I should just wait at the scene. Let's cool off here for about 5 minutes and then head over there. If I remember correctly, Kurisu tried to talk to me in the assembly hall, but I blew her off and came down here. After that, I tried calling Mayuri, but her phone was off and I couldn't get through, so I went back up to the assembly hall to find her. What time was that? I searched my memories, trying to plot the actions I took on July 28th. It sounded simple when Suzuha said it. Staying away from my past self is going to take more work than I thought. Frustration mounts. I shoved Suzuha's watch into my pocket to quash it. Just then,
すいません。
that voice. I turn around.
クリス。
私、あなたと面識ありました？
Well, we're already screwed.
さっき、このビルの屋上から降りてきましたよね。
She looks at me with those beautiful eyes shining with intelligence and strength of will. Thought I would never see her again, but now, before my very eyes is the girl I love. Tears well up in my eyes. I want to embrace her right this instant. Takes everything I have to resist the urge. Don't forget, this is our first meeting. This Kurisu doesn't know me.
屋上で妙な音がしたし、ビルが揺れたように感じたけど、それと何か関係が？一体何があったんですか？ドクター中鉢の仕込みとか言わないですよね。
Why did I have to run into Kurisu of all people? I can't answer. I'm afraid that if I speak, I'll be unable to contain my emotions. The memory of her last smile is burned into my mind, imploring me to act.
聞いてますか？すごい汗ですけど。
Kurisu looks at me with suspicion. What would happen if I were to grab Kurisu and run? Divergence change? Would her murder be averted? I recall all the times Mayuri died. I recall all the times I time leaped to save her. Everything I tried ended in vain. I was unable to save her even once. No matter what I did, the world itself killed her. Won't it be the same with Kurisu? Should I even try? I reach towards Kurisu, my hand shaking.
何ですか？
She steps back in surprise and fear, clutching a manila envelope to her chest. This is our first meeting. I know that, but to me she's still the girl I love. If I'd been thinking straight a second ago, I would have realized that my plan to grab her and flee wasn't going to work. Kurisu would never follow some strange man she only just met. Running isn't an option. All I can do is wait at the scene of the crime. Fighting against the urge to stay, I force myself to turn and leave.
質問に答えてください。
But Kurisu pursues me. Why is she so desperate to know who I am? I do look suspicious, I'll admit that. If she thinks I'm dangerous, why would she come alone? I turn around reluctantly and meet Kurisu's stare.
答えて。
俺はお前を。
Can I really save you? The words catch in my throat. Can I save her? I don't know. All I know is that convergence is merciless and cruel, and I am powerless to stop it.
何です？
I shake my head, then bolt for the stairs before Kurisu can react.
待ちなさい！
I make it back to the 8th floor. The presentation has already started. I peek in through the door in the assembly hall.
俺が誰なのかはどうでもいい。それより、今あなたが語ったタイムマシンの理論は一体何だ？
Someone in the audience is shouting at Dr. Nakabachi. I wonder who that voice belongs to. That someone is me. Now I remember. I confronted Dr. Nakabachi in the middle of his presentation. I called him a fraud for ripping off John Titer's posts. From this angle, I look like a real asshole. Staff members approach. Damn, this is embarrassing. There's nothing I can do here. I need to leave before Kurisu appears. Turn around and head deeper into the dim passage. An image flashes through my mind. She was lying there, at the end of this passage, in a puddle of her own blood. Mim has an idea, and I am worried. 20 minutes from now, that's exactly what will happen. Can I prevent it? I must, whatever it takes. There's a pile of junk, toolboxes, cardboard, and the like about halfway down the passage. Perfect hiding spot. I crouch behind them. Now, all I have to do is wait for Kurisu to show. But what will I do when she does? Only now do I realize that I'm completely unarmed. I really didn't think this through. Kurisu was lying in a pool of blood. That means her killer had a weapon. Since I didn't hear a gunshot, it must have been a knife or something similar. How am I going to defend her? And myself? Is there anything around here that might work as a weapon? I still have about 20 minutes. One wrong move and someone might catch me. I shouldn't leave this spot. Maybe I'm being overly cautious, but this is my only chance to prevent Kurisu's death. I don't want to jeopardize that. I don't know what I'd do if I ran into Kurisu again. It's a miracle that I managed to tear myself away last time. The longer I wait in the darkness, the harder it becomes. The anticipation is killing me. So far, not a single soul has passed down this hallway. I can faintly hear Nakabachi's voice at the mic from far away, but that's it. The silence does nothing but increase my tension. To make matters worse, it's hot and humid. I guess the air conditioner's not on back here. My entire body's drenched in sweat, and I haven't even been hiding for a minute. Sweat drips from my brow to the floor. I rub it out with my shoe. I have to keep waiting. There's no other choice. I stay there, crouched in the darkness, for what seems an eternity. The distance, I hear the sound of sparse applause. I glance at Suzuha's watch. It's 12:26. I guess the presentation's over? Peek out from behind the boxes, and just then... I hear footsteps approaching. I quickly duck back behind cover. My heart is pounding. Someone's coming this way. Who? Is it Kurisu's murderer? I clench my teeth and try to drive away the tension. I can only pray that I won't be found. Finally, the footsteps pass right by my hiding spot. Moving only my eyes, I sneak a glance at the person. Kurisu? There's no one with her. I didn't expect Kurisu to be the first to appear. What is she doing back here? This area is for employees only. Now that I think about it, Kurisu's murder made no sense. Why was she killed in a place she would normally never come? Careful to keep quiet, I watch Kurisu from the shadows. About 5 meters down the hall, she stops walking and leans against the wall. She's holding that manila envelope I saw her with earlier. She peeks inside and smiles softly. Why is she smiling? Kurisu rarely smiles like that. I mean, it's more like her to glare at people. That envelope. I search my memories again. When Kurisu approached me during Nakabachi's presentation, I'm pretty sure she was holding that envelope. But did she have it when I discovered her body? I don't remember seeing it. What could be inside to make Kurisu smile like that? I can't begin to imagine. Oh, it's probably, just concrete proof on time travel, that makes its way into Dr. Nakabachi's hands so he can add it to the internet and start all of the nasty stuff. Nothing big. Kurisu hasn't moved a muscle. She's just standing there, head hung, her face hidden behind her long hair. I can't read her expression. Is she waiting for someone? Who? Who would meet in a place like this? That's when I hear another set of footsteps approaching. I can't see who it is from where I'm hiding. Given the timing, it has to be the person who killed Kurisu. As proof, Kurisu raises her head, and upon recognizing the newcomer, lifts her back off the wall. Her expression softens slightly. The footsteps come even closer. Who is it?
話がある。
I'm just imagining that we're hiding behind those boxes on the one side, and one person's on one side of the box and one person's on the other, just talking, and we're just sitting there, basically next to one of them, and we're not being seen. Kurisu suddenly starts speaking. The footsteps pass right by my hiding spot. I'm so tense I can't move a muscle. The newcomer finally appears in my narrow field of vision, and it's me. No.
No.
It's Dr. Nakabachi. I slap a hand over my mouth to keep from shouting in astonishment. Kurisu and Dr. Nakabachi know each other?
それと一つ忠告を。ドクター中鉢には気をつけて。
Something else occurs to me. How'd Kurisu, an accomplished scientist, attend the presentation of a man like Nakabachi? He's just a 2-bit inventor. Only 15 people came to hear him speak, and that's including trolls like me. There wasn't even any press coverage. Besides, Kurisu hates time travel science. That much was obvious from her lecture at ATF. In that case, it's obvious why she's here. She didn't come to see his presentation, she came to see him. But why? What could be the connection? Wait... It can't be.
聞いてるの？パパ。
He's her father? Her estranged father who she told me she hasn't seen in 7 years? Kurisu didn't say her father was a physicist. Nakabachi certainly is a physicist, though the scientific community at large has rejected his research. But wait, does that mean Nakabachi killed his own daughter? Or was it someone else, someone who is yet to appear? There's no way to know. If I could be sure that Nakabachi was the killer, then I would intervene right now. But I'm not, so better keep watching, see what happens.
それは何だ？
パパがタイムマシーンの発表会をすると聞いて、私も考えてみたの。タイムマシーンは作れるのかどうか。
Kurisu wrote a paper on time travel? When she spoke at ATF, she rejected the very idea of time travel. Although, come to think of it, she was awfully interested in the phone wave. Damn, I forgot how much of a tsundere she was.
読んでパパの意見を聞かせてほしい。それを踏まえて手直しして学会に出してみようと思ってる。相手にしてもらえないかもしれないけど、一応私サイエンス誌とは面識あるし。
Nakabachi takes out the document and starts reading it with a disgusted frown. I call that his normal face. So that's what it was. He didn't have anything dangerous in the envelope like drugs or a gun, it was just some document. That raises a new question. Could that be the Nakabachi paper? According to Suzuha, that document sparked a time travel arms race that ultimately led to World War III and the deaths of 5.7 billion people.
EU とロシアによる開発競争が火種になって、それにアメリカまでが横やりを入れたから収拾がつかなくなった。
Is that why Kurisu's safety is so important to changing Divergence? I get it now. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is inevitable. Nakabachi flips restlessly through the document. He's not even trying to hide his irritation.
誰がこんなものを書いてこいと言った？
言われてはいないけど、パパが7年ぶりに連絡をくれて発表会を見に来いって言ってくれたでしょ。それがきっかけになったの。それで論文にまとめてみたら、もしかすると作れるかもしれないんじゃないかって思えるようになった。
He sounds like the kind of father that you like give him a Father's Day gift that you like made in school and he's like, "Did I ask for a gift?" And just like throws it in the trash.
もしその論文が認められたら、学会を追放されたパパのリベンジになるかも。
私は追放されたのではない。
Nakabachi suddenly shrieks at Kurisu, causing her to shrink back in fear.
あの連中は私のレベルの高さに嫉妬するしか能がなかった。そんな奴らに嫌気がさして私の方が見切りをつけたのだ。
ならないでよ。
Nakabachi gives his daughter a disdainful snort and goes back to flipping through the paper.
パパって読むの早いね。昔とちっとも変わってない。
Nakabachi even ignores Kurisu's words of endearment.
悪くない内容だ。
本当？この論文はパパと共同署名でもいいと私は思って。
学会には出すな。これは私が預かっておく。
どういうこと？
I mean murder, of course.
どういうことだと？わからんのか？たかがサイエンス誌に低レベルな論文が掲載された程度でいい気になるなということだ。なんだ？親に対してその顔は何だ？
ごめん。
An awkward silence follows. Can we just, like, smack him on the back of the head yet? I feel no warmth between these two. The only thing I feel is distance. Kurisu in particular seems desperate to avoid upsetting her father.
ねえ、久しぶりに会ったことだし、いろいろと話したいんだけど、パパは今、青森に住んでるんだっけ？
Kurisu's trying to maintain a cheerful tone. I can see that her expression is stiff. Remember how she said she had trouble dealing with her father?
私って
I mean,
父親に
it's that your father has trouble dealing with everyone else. That's the real problem. She looked so lonely when she spoke those words.
帰れ。さっさとアメリカに帰れ。二度と顔を見せるな。
Just, yeah, you know, your daughter just flew from America to Japan to see you and, you know, like, have a nice chat over dinner, and you're like, oh, you've been here like a whole 5 minutes, might as well just go back to the airport.
でも
何が意見が聞きたいだ。何が共同署名だ。本心ではそんなことこれっぽっちも思っていないだろうが。
He sounds like a child with an inferiority complex.
私を憐れんどるのか、それとも蔑んどるのか、娘の分際で。
何言ってるのよ。落ち着いて。
私は十分落ち着いておる。指図するな。
This is bad. He is bad, and this is bad. It's almost time for Kurisu's murder. Was it really Nakabachi, her own father, who killed her?
私が今日この場にお前を呼んだ理由を教えてやる。勝ち誇りたかったのだよ。お前に私の研究の偉大さを見せびらかすことでな。お前が絶望するほどの差を知らしめてやろうとしたのだ。
So, you called your daughter from America to Japan to flaunt your ego in her face? Like...
なのにあの妙な若造のせいで全て台無しだ。そしてお前がそんな私を見て鼻で笑っていたのも知っているぞ。どこまで親を
I
馬鹿
mean,
にすれ
at
ば
least we
気が済
ruined
む。
his day. I actually feel good that we ruined his day.
笑ってなんて。
この論文に意見が欲しいのか？意見ならここで言ってやる。
But also, just saying, if you wanted to be a dick about this and show her up, you literally could have just emailed your paper to her instead of being like, yeah, come to Japan. Just, you know, fly like 12, 13 hours across the ocean and then back. It's fine. Are we about to transition from uncle hunting to daddy hunting? I mean, apparently we are the superhero who's here to fight all bad parental figures abusing children. Apparently that's just what we're becoming. Nakabachi rolls right over Kurisu's objections. It's like he doesn't even hear her voice.
この論文は私の名前で発表する。以上だ。
まさかパパ盗むの？
なんだと？
私の論文盗むの？そんなことだけはしない人だって思っていたのに。
I'm gonna take this right now to just say, if abuse is not your thing, go find something better to watch right now, because this is only going to escalate and get worse. And if this is something that is in your life that is bothering you, please, please, please look up your local abuse or crisis support center or mental health hotline. You deserve better than that. And, yeah. But we're going to continue playing this game, and there might be some scenes... I mean, there's already been scenes that could trigger a lot of people, and it's all... Honestly, it's probably just gonna get worse. So please, if that's not your thing, find something better. Nakabachi suddenly whirls and strikes Kurisu across the face. What do I do? I know I should do something, but what?
誰に対して口を聞いておるのだ。
Jeez. That went further than even I thought it would go. Nakabachi throws the paper aside and seizes his daughter by the throat. Kurisu gasps for air. Her face twists in pain as his grip tightens.
お前に私の気持ちがわかるか。なぜお前はそんなに優秀なのだ。私はお前が憎い。存在そのものが疎ましいのだよ。私より優秀な人間などこの世にいてはならんのだ。わかるか。屈辱なのだ。娘が親より優秀でいい道理な
Hello,
どない。
Samuses. Yes, it is Saturday.
だから遠ざけた。お前と親子だと思われるのが耐えられなかった。お前がいたせいで、お前のせいで。
This is completely absurd. He's blaming her for his own failures. I've seen enough. He's the killer for sure. I burst from my hiding spot.
よせ!
I ram him with my shoulder as hard as I can, knocking him away from Kurisu. Kurisu gasps for breath.
なんだお前は。
クリスは殺させない。
I'm gonna save Kurisu. I'm gonna save her and change the future. Even a weakling like me can pin down an old man like Nakabachi. You're already in bed, you had to at least stop by and say hello. Well, hello, Samuses. Hope you've had a wonderful evening, and hope you have a wonderful sleep. And thank you for stopping in. Then I can get Suzuha to call the police, and... The memory of Kurisu's body flashes through my mind. No, it won't turn out like that. Steadying himself with one hand against the wall, Nakabachi gets to his feet and looks straight at me. The instant our eyes meet, his face twists in rage.
おい、さっきの。
Good night, Samuses.
お前のせいで。お前のせいで私の発表会は台無しだ。
His presentation? Right, of course. Called him out on his lies in the middle of his presentation. Nakabachi is mistaking me for my past self. Understandable, since we look exactly the same.
よくも抜け抜けと私の前に顔を出せたな。
And I mean,
どいつもこいつも
it
私
was
の
still
邪魔ば
us
か
who
りす
did
る。
it, so we are still also the brat who interrupted his presentation. He is still
あとはお前
correct.
クリスと示し合わせていたな。そうだ。そうなんだろう。
He's delusional.
許さん。許さんぞ、ガキども。
Nakabachi glares at me with bloodshot eyes, then takes something out of his pocket. At first, I can't tell what it is. But then, I see it glint in the dim light. A knife. The blade is about 20 centimeters long. I can't help but shiver at its cold shine. Why is he even carrying something like that? Is he completely insane? No, I don't think so, Mim. This guy was delusional anyways. He sounds like the kind of person who he was gonna have something to blame his insecurities on, whether it was us or the fact that only 14 people showed up at his presentation. He would have had some reason to be upset, because that's just the kind of person he is. I won't let that happen. I'm gonna die instead. Damn. Why is my brain so fixated on that scene?
私をバカにするな
Nakabachi charges like an enraged bull, no sign of hesitation whatsoever. He raises his knife high. I instinctively dodge back. The knife misses me by a hair. He gathers himself for another strike. The sight of his face twisted in madness and rage fills me with terror. I want to scream. He's gonna kill me. No, don't be afraid. I can't die here. The past is already decided. Wait, if the past is already decided, doesn't that mean I can't save Kurisu? Shake off the thought. Just think about saving her.
謝れ
I mean, I really don't think, even if we apologize, I don't think that would stop you at this point. Swallowing my fear, force myself to stop running away. Instead, I lunge forward. I knock Nakabachi's hand aside. The knife falls from his grip and clatters to the floor. I leap on it and pick it up. That was easier than I expected.
指図をするな
I look up in surprise. Nakabachi has taken a screwdriver from a toolbox left in the passage. Kurisu is walking towards him, pleading with him to stop. She's completely defenseless. No, Kurisu, stay away from him. You're the one in danger, not me. Just when I thought I'd disarm him, he finds something else. Even a screwdriver can kill with enough force behind it.
クリス逃げろ
Kurisu glances at me, but she doesn't move. Why won't she run away?
バカな真似はやめて
何がわかる何がわかる何が
Nakabachi's completely lost his mind. Nothing she can say will reach
お
him.
前さえいなければ
Nakabachi turns to Kurisu, brandishing his screwdriver. But Kurisu still doesn't run away. Blood spurts from the arm Kurisu used to guard her face. She's gonna die. I have to do something. I grip the knife firmly in my hands. Kurisu won't die if I kill Nakabachi first. That image again. Stop getting in my way. I won't be tied to the past. Unless we are the murderer. Because she's gonna step in front of us to stop us from murdering her father, and then we kill her. I need to do this to change the future. Save Kurisu.
仲間ち
Nakabachi raises his arm for another blow. I thrust my knife at his unprotected back. Through the knife, my hand feels resistance. The sensation of tearing through flesh, scraping bone. It's surprisingly tough, but at the same time, I feel the flesh pulsating. I didn't do anything, Mim. There were no choices here. I have no choices. I'm just reading text on the screen. It shifts in time with my victim's breath. I stabbed. I just said what I was pretty sure was gonna happen, Mim. They set this up. They set this up by saying, we have 2 tries. So when anyone tells you in something like super dramatic that you have 2 chances to do something, you know the first chance is never gonna work out. It's all gonna come on to the second chance, and it's gonna come down to the wire, like it's all or nothing. We do it here or we fail. So we knew this chance wasn't gonna work. I stabbed.
なんで
I can't believe my eyes. What happened? I tried to stab Nakabachi. Blade should have pierced his back. And yet... At the last minute, Kurisu forced herself between us. As if to protect Nakabachi.
なんで
So, let's just take a second to go through what's going through Okabe's mind right now. So he already has gone through the loss of seeing Mayuri die. I've lost count, but probably at least 30 times by now. And there's some points where they don't tell us. He had to come to terms with Christina dying the first time. He had to come to terms with killing her by going from the Alpha World line to the Beta World line, and now he's physically shoved a knife through her chest and killed her physically. I hope the university he goes to allows for, a therapist, because he's going to need one after all this. I hope he has good insurance coverage. Strength drains from Kurisu's body. She slumps against me, her head on my shoulder.
バカどもにはふさわしい末路だ。
You're still being such a dickwad. Laughing maniacally, Nakabachi picks up the dropped thesis and runs to the elevator at the far end of the hall. I can't chase him. I know what's going to happen if I don't stop him, but I can't take a single step. Is this a joke? Is this the punchline? I wanted to know who killed Kurisu, and now...
ごめんね。
Kurisu speaks. Her voice is barely a whisper. I feel something wet on my hands. I wonder if it's all the blood. Wet and warm. Blood. Kurisu's blood. Gushing from her wound. It's warm, but not hot. And yet it feels like it's burning my hands. I try to pull the knife out. If I can stop the bleeding, maybe she'll be okay? My hands won't move. It's like they've turned to stone. My arms, my fingers, no matter how hard I try, they won't move an inch. It's the V8 from her pocket. I hate to tell you, man, but this is a Dr. Pepper only stream. The V8 can get out. Kurisu's breathing quickly grows labored. She's suffering. I didn't mean for this to happen. This isn't what I wanted. Why won't my hands move? I want to pull out the knife. I want to ease her pain. Why won't my body obey me? Thank you for all of the salt, ma'am. And what else? You got some grape drank? Love me some grape drank. As if someone else is in control. Kurisu's body convulses against mine. The pain must be unbearable. Is there nothing I can do to help her? I want to cry.
どうして
The only thing I can do is ask.
あれでも父親だから私ずっと 認められなかった。
Deadbeard has cheered 17 bits. I heard the suspicious come through, but it was super short. Let me repeat that.
Suspicious.
There we go. Now I can hear the whole thing. I don't know if the first one cut off for you guys or if it was just on my end, but I wanted to hear the full suspicious.
パパに認めて欲しくて、いつも勉強。
You wanted him to be more hateable, Mim? Well, here we go.
Suspicious.
今さら
Mim, thank you for the 28 sadness bits. Stop that.
パパは私なんて認めたくなかった。
Okay, now let's take a moment from Christina's point of view, where her father invites her to his conference from America to Japan. She hasn't heard from him in 7 years.
Suspicious.
Stop that. You can be sad without giving me bits. Thank you for the 20 bits. She comes here because she's hopeful that she's just recently published a paper that has some renown behind it, a considerable amount from what we know in this game. So maybe she's thinking, I've finally made it. I've finally done something that my father can be proud of me, and that's why he's calling me home. So in preparation to come home, she's like, I want to have something to talk about with him. I know he loves time travel. I'm going to research time travel so I can share this with him. She gets here, one, hoping to be praised by her father for her work, and also just wanting to share and catch up and start to mend that gap. Gets abused by her father, gets stabbed in the chest, and the last thing that goes through her head before she's about to die is, my father will never accept me. He didn't want to do that. All of this was a waste of time. That's where we're at. And she's not blaming her father, she's blaming herself. Because at the end of the day, she still wants his approval. Deadbeards? Okay, I'll accept 4 fake show love bits.
Suspicious.
Stop doing working bits. Actually, I'm curious why that didn't work in the first place. Don't tell me you had to buy bits to do that.
Suspicious.
Mim, stop that. Thank you for the bits, Deadbeard and Mim. I'm just gonna sit here, just, you know, embracing the woman I just stabbed in the chest.
Suspicious.
Deadbeard. Deadbeard, if you want to see the suspicious clip, you literally made that. You sent it to me. You don't have to spend money to do that. You can open up whatever directory on your many hard drives and find that. You don't have to give me money to see it. Her voice is fading fast. Don't die. Please don't die on me. But my prayers are in vain.
Suspicious.
Thank you for the bit.
Suspicious.
Let's see, I wonder which person has been cheering one bit, and who could be the anonymous cheerer. I wonder if it was Deadbeard. Her body suddenly grows heavy. I can no longer hear the sound of her breathing. And yet, the blood from her wound is still warm. I killed her. I killed her. The one who killed Kurisu was me. You've been framed? Thank you, Roger Rabbit. As I scream, another me looks down from above. As he hears the sound of my despair, the last piece of the puzzle clicks into place. The scream I heard that day was my own.
オカリンおじさん
You know why this happened? We're an uncle now! We've become the killer because we are an uncle. Someone pulls at my arm.
だっておじさ
I feel hands slip under my shoulders
Suspicious.
and drag me away. Thank you, anonymous 10-bit cheerer who I assume is still Deadbeard. The knife in my hands pulls free of Kurisu's chest. A fresh torrent of blood follows it. Still warm.
リス目を開けてくれよ起きろよ
んしっかりしておじさん今すぐここを離れないと人が来ちゃう
ごめん殺すつもりなかった
Suspicious.
A suspicious 69 bits? I have to trust the 69, that's what I've been trained to do.
なんでこんな
Someone puts my arm over their shoulder and hauls me to my feet, and drags me away step by step. I don't have the strength to resist. Guilt and regret are the only things inside of me. I killed Kurisu twice.
とにかく戻らなきゃおじさんまだ諦めちゃダメ大丈夫だからきっと大丈夫だからしっかり捕まってて
I feel someone push me hard from behind. Next, they take the knife away. My fingers are like solid rock. They have to be pried open one by one. I failed to save Kurisu. Worse, Convergence made me kill her. And yes, it's the Back to the Future panel. The past has already been decided. It was impossible to change it from the start. Someone drags me out of the time machine. I crumple on the spot, powerless to even stand.
うわもう帰ってきたおまだ1分も経ってないのに
おかりおかり
Mary rushes over to me. She looks at my face in concern, but even her concern is too much for me to bear. Please don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
ちょおか
I
り
mean, I was just going to say, we're covered in blood. They're not going to leave us alone. Why are we here? So, my thought is, like this... we needed to get out of the situation, and Okabe needs time to come to terms with what's happened before they can even do the second attempt.
Tosa, タオルと水、あと服も今すぐ手に入れてきて。
Just get him everything.
えどういうことか説明プリーズ。
いいから早く。
わかったお。
Dara runs back inside the building.
大丈夫？しっかりして死なないで。大丈夫。怪我してるわけじゃないよ。
Leave me alone. I don't deserve your concern. Save Kurisu? What a joke. Not only did I fail to save her, I took her life with my own 2 hands. 3 weeks ago, in this very spot, I killed her. I murdered her.
無駄だったんだ。何をやっても無駄だ。全部決まってしまっていることなんだよ。同じだ。参りの時と同じなんだ。どれだけもがいたって結果は同じになる。
The squelch toy is my water bottle, Mim? We have a time machine. Shouldn't we give it another try? No, it's not that simple. No matter how many times I try, the result will converge on Kurisu's death. Even if I throw the knife away. You thought it was a stab noise? Fate will find some other way to kill Kurisu. Maybe Nakabachi will kill her. Maybe I'll trip and push her down the stairs. Maybe she'll just drop dead for no reason. The cause doesn't matter. The effect will always be the same. It doesn't matter if I time leap or if I time travel. Going to the past can't change the result. Maybe a D-mail could shift divergence enough to take us to another attractor field. There's no way to control what might happen. D-mail is a shot in the dark. It's useless. Useless. Everything is useless.
無駄だよ。無駄なんだ。何もかも無駄なんだよ。俺はやっぱりクリスを助けられないんだ。分かってた。分かってたんだ。こうなるって予想してたんだ。もう疲れた。ずっと休んでないんだ。だからもういいよ。
Burning numbness spreads through my cheek. Mayuri hit me.
何？お。
She's never done anything like this before. The shock is enough to bring me to my senses. Mayuri looks at me with tears streaming down her cheeks. Her small body gently embraces mine, though I'm still covered in Kurisu's blood.
オカリンは途中で諦める人じゃないよ。マユシーは知ってるもん。いつもね、絶対に最後まで諦めたりしない。
Oh, we've given up many times, actually.
覚えてる？マユシーがおばあちゃんのお墓の前で毎日助けてって 心の中でつぶやいていた時、オカリンも毎日マユシーに会いに来てくれたよね。雨の日も雪の日も諦めずにマユシーの横に来て、マユシーの名前ずっと呼び続けてくれたよね。マユシーはね、オカリンが最後までそばにいてくれたから、おばあちゃんとしっかりお別れすることができたんだよ。ね。だからオカリン、マユシーはよくわからないけど、諦めちゃダメだよ。元気出してほしいよ。
Mayuri's gentle warmth envelops me. I cling to that warmth, but it's not enough to heal my heart.
でも俺が殺してしまったんだ。
Person most precious to me, I wanted so desperately to save.
俺が殺した。
オカリン。
I can still feel the knife in my hand. I can still feel her fading heartbeat. I look at my hands over Mayuri's shoulders. They're red with blood. Kurisu's blood. The shaking won't stop. Tears fall, washing away the blood. Guilt and despair are tearing my soul. If Suzuha hadn't taken the knife, I might have slit my own throat in that very spot. This reality is too much to bear. But I realize that this is retribution, my just punishment for taking the godlike power of time travel and using it to distort the past. Kurisu can't be saved. That has been proven beyond a doubt. At the very least, I can't save her. Not even with Mayuri's encouragement.
無駄なんだ。
無駄じゃないよ。
Suzuha speaks, her voice full of conviction, and immediately afterwards, I hear a familiar melody, my male tone. Mayuri takes my phone out of her pocket. She's been looking after it.
オカリン、メールが。
Mayuri gently puts my phone into my hand. I don't have the energy to check my mail, but for some reason, Suzuha gestures for me to look at it. I reluctantly open my inbox. It just says, turn on the TV. What? Turn on the TV? That's all it says. The sender is unfamiliar. You mean you're not familiar with SG-EPK at JTK93.x29.jp? Thought everyone knew that. Is this a prank? Spam? I'm bewildered. I don't know who sent this. Then I happen to glance at the send time, and the shock is like a lightning bolt to the brain. The date it was sent: August 21st, 2025. I'm trying to see where it actually has that 2025 bit. I see 821, 1812.
2025年。
No, is this? It doesn't even occur to me to wonder if my phone has malfunctioned. After all, I know this phenomenon.
Dメール。
I look up at Suzuha. She sees my confusion and looks at my phone.
聞いた通りだ。本当に届いた。
Judging by her surprise, I guess she doesn't know much. Suzuha left from 2036. It's 11 years after this D-mail was sent. Does that mean it's not related to her?
テレビってどういうこと？
11 years back, we're still alive. Is it from us? SG could be Steins Gate. L Psi Congro. It's Steins Gate - L Psi Congro. But in Japanese they use the K instead of the C.
見ろっ って書いてあるじゃん。何かを伝え
That's
たんだ
actually
よ。
really clever.
おい、買ってきたおー。
Dara comes back with a convenient store bag right on time. Fortunately, my phone has TV reception. As soon as I switch it on, I see a news reporter standing in some foreign airport. I can't pull it back up to look at. But yeah, John Titer, JT93 makes sense. There's a jumbo jet in the background. Looking closer, I see burns near the plane's tail. The caption says, "Fire on Russian airlines."
成田発モスクワ行きのロシアン航空801便が飛行中に火災事故を起こしたとロシア当局から発表がありました。ロシアン航空801便は日本時間11時5分に成田空港を出発しましたが、モスクワへの到着直前になって貨物室から火災が発生。ドモジェドボ国際空港に緊急着陸し、速やかに乗客の避難が行われました。この事故での死傷者はありません。事故を起こしたロシアン航空801便には、ロシアへの亡命を表明していた日本の
The screen changes, and the camera cuts to what appears to be the airport lobby. A man is standing there, surrounded by reporters. When I see his face, my breath catches in my throat.
Doctor Nakabachi.
ドクター中鉢氏こと牧瀬正一さんが乗っており、先ほど現地にて報道陣に向けてコメントしました。
I still haven't recovered from the shock of murdering Kurisu. The images on the TV seem like something from a dream. They say Nakabachi sought asylum in Russia? I didn't think people still did that in this day and age. I mean, all you need is a passport to travel to Russia. That's not entirely true. Russia also requires you to have a visa issued as well. Or at least it did last I checked. What happened on the plane? Read the subtitles at the bottom of the screen.
機内が焦げ臭かったが、私は全く冷静だったよ。一部の乗客が騒いでいたが、私が一括してやるとおとなしくなった。
Nakabachi responds confidently. He certainly doesn't seem like a man who could strangle his own daughter.
無事着陸させた機長には賛辞を送りたいね。彼はこの私と
Second part was JT93. Yep, John Titer 93. Makes sense. Subtitles change to, is that thesis related to your request for asylum? Nakabachi nods theatrically.
いかにも。もしこの論文が失われたら、人類科学の発展は100年の遅れを見ることになっただろう。未来の人類のあり方を決定づけるほどに重大な論文なのだよ、これは。
None of this explains why he needs to seek asylum in Russia to publish this thesis. What is your thesis about?
人類史上初のタイムトラベル実現に関する論文だ。わかるかね？タイムトラベルだよ。この私、ドクター中鉢がその発明に世界で初めて成功したのだ。
Nakabachi's tone quickly grows feverish. Now he's talking directly to the camera. Moreover, he's not talking about the accident at all, he's just promoting his research. He presents something to the camera. The envelope, the one Kurisu gave him, and then he kind of just took it.
この中だ。この中に私がまとめた人類の夢が詰まって
I mean, I guess technically she did give it to him.
学会で発表する予定だがね。その時全人類は驚愕し、やがて私を称えることになるだろう。
I have no right to condemn Nakabachi for his actions, not when it was my hand that took Kurisu's life. At the same time, I can't stop myself from recalling the words Kurisu spoke. That hurt, betrayed tone that triggered Nakabachi's violence.
私の論文盗むの？そんなことだけはしない人だって思っていたのに。
Do those words not echo in his ears too? How can he stand there and present his murdered daughter's work as if it were his own, look so proud of himself while doing it? I hear my teeth grinding in my head.
もともとこの封筒はスーツケースに入れて貨物室に預ける予定だった。実際そうしていたら、論文は貨物室で焼け焦げ、人類の夢はそこで終わってしまっただろうな。しかし、まるで神が私
Like first rule, make a backup, scan it, keep it on like a flash drive, something. Nakabachi thrusts his open hand at the camera.
その神による技がこれだ。これが封筒に入っていたおかげで荷物を預ける際に金属探知機に引っかかってしまってな。私は封筒だけをスーツケースから出して機内に持ち込んだのだ。先ほど機長は英雄だと言ったが、人類の夢を守った真の英雄はこの小さな人形であるとも。
Flash drives existed in 2010. Scanners existed in 2010. Apparently you can stream live television from Russia on your phone. So I mean... Sitting in the palm of his hand is a lump of silvery metal, barely 5 centimeters tall. It's 2010, is the year this takes place in. Yeah, it's the Upa Mayuri gave her. Mayuri points at the screen. I look closer. That lump of metal in Nakabachi's hand. It's not just any lump of metal. I'm no bullying the meme. Upa is a mascot character from the popular card game Rainet Access Battlers. Do we really need to talk about the Upa merchandise again? You can see Upa merchandise everywhere in Akihabara, from capsule toys to phone straps and other accessories. But of all Upa merchandise, the most rare is the metal Upa. The very same metal Upa that Nakabachi is presenting to the camera. We're on a mission to rescue the Upa now. Yeah, we don't care about the envelope for the research, we care about the Upa, that's it. Near the bottom of the metal Upa, I can see cute letters written in bright red magic marker. The letters read, Mayushis.
マジだ。なんでそれをドクター中鉢が？
あの発表会の会場でね、落としちゃったの。探したけど見つからなくて諦めてたんだけど、このおじさんが持ってたんだ。ロシアじゃ返してもらいに行けないよ。
I stare at the screen in disbelief. My body is shaking. Goosebumps break out over every inch of flesh. I know what this is.
Butterfly effect.
3 weeks ago, Mayuri dropped her metal Upa in the assembly hall of Radicon. That tiny figure, a mere child's toy, went on to decide the fate of mankind. It rescued the Nakabachi paper from the fire. And in so doing, it laid the foundation for World War III. Dang it, Mayuri! Your stupid toy!
お前はこれを知っていたのか?
Suzuha answers with a look of apology.
さっきの2025年からの D メールは誰が送ってきたんだ?
Whoever it was clearly meant for us to see the news about Dr. Nakabachi.
ごめん。
Sorry? About what? What is she apologizing for?
ちゃんと説明しなくてごめん。でもさ、どうしてもオカリンおじさんには一度マキセ・クリスの命を救うのを失敗してもらわなくちゃいけなかったんだ。
What?
俺を騙したのか？
騙したわけじゃない。段取りとして必要なことらしいの。そう指示された。
Told by whom?
オカリンおじさんに辛い思いさせちゃったことは謝る。
どういうことか説明しろ。
その必要はないよ。
Suzuha points the phone in my
聞
hand.
けばわかる。
聞くって何を？
その携帯にもうすでに入ってるはずだよ。2025年のオカリンおじさん自身からの伝言が。
There was another message in her phone.
ムービーメール。
I think I actually tried to open this before.
その携帯に受信してるよね。
はっ！
She's right. When was that? July 28th, right after I met Kurisu for the first time. Just as I was about to contact Mayuri, I received a mysterious video mail from an address I had never seen before. Is that what she's talking about?
だが何も映っていなかった。ノイズしか入っていなかった。
Could be like play it backwards, or Suzuha
マキ
grins.
セ・クリスの命を救うのに一度失敗した今なら見ることができるはずだよ。
Are you kidding me? Is that even possible? Okay, to her phone. I'm not convinced, but I check my phone anyway just to be sure. And there I find a saved video mail. I check the sender's address. I realize it's from the same address as the D-mail just now. Yeah, John Titer. Trying to think what the K is for. Anyways. Yeah, 93. They're from the same person, and this person is me in 15 years. 15 years, 2025, the year I die according to Suzuha. I sent this message on the eve of my death, a message to myself in 2010. Suzuha said that there was a plan to reach Steins Gate. Would that plan be in this video? Mayuri and Daru peek over my shoulder. I take a deep breath and press play with a trembling finger. Nothing appears on the screen but noise. Nothing has changed after all. There's no hidden message or anything. The noise suddenly dissolves, revealing the silhouette of a man. Looks like the video was shot somewhere dark. I can't see the man's face. Unkempt hair, a lab coat, that's all I can make out. So remember when we were talking about how much we changed in the future? Well, in 2025 we have unkempt hair and a lab coat, so clearly we didn't change that much in 15 years.
この人が15年後のオカリンなん？
If anything, her hair's gotten more wild.
きっとそうだよ。あのね、なんとなくオカリンに似てる気がするもん。
Really? Is this guy really me? Yes, yes it is, undeniably you. My phone's tiny screen has become a window onto the future, not into the future. I feel like that's a typo. I can't believe I'm about to hear a message from
メ
myself.
ールは受け取ったか？テレビニュースを見るんだ。すでに見たならば、このまま聞いてくれ。
That last mail was from him, from me. It doesn't feel real.
はじめまして。だな。15年前の俺。
15 オカリン、声が渋くなってるよ。
俺は2025年からこうしてムービーメールを送っている。原理については D メールと同じだ。お前はこのベータ世界線到達とともに電話レンジカッコ仮を破棄した。そうだな。しかし俺は、お前は1年もしないうちに再びタイムトラベル理論と向き合うことになる。向き合ってもう14年。それが俺というわけだ。その過程で36バイト以上の容量を送信可能な D メール送信装置も作ることに成功した。
I'd laugh if this is us in the future just using a voice changer and we have the same voice.
このムービーメールを聞いているということは、お前はクリスを救うことに失敗したということだな。さぞ辛かっただろう。お前の気持ちはよくわかる。なぜなら俺は15年後のお前なんだからな。そうだ。俺も失敗した。失敗したまま15年が過ぎたよ。なぜお前にあえて失敗させたかわかるか？必要なことだった。その失敗後の15年間、俺に執念を与えてもらうためにな。お前はクリスを助けようとして失敗した。お前自身がクリスを殺した。その悔しさ、その罪悪感が2025年にこの計画を完成させた俺へとつながったのだ。その執念があったからこそ、俺はこのムービーメールをお前へと届けることができたのだ。知っての通り、世界はアトラクタフィールドにより収束を起こす。普通にタイムトラベルするだけではクリスを助けることはできない。だからあえて一度失敗することでこうして因果を作った。下ごしらえのようなものだ。お前が失敗してくれたおかげでこの15年、俺はひたすら研究に明け暮れた。ドクター中鉢が世界にタイムトラベルの論争をもたらし、世界中が戦争への道にひた走る中で、俺は地下に潜って独自にタイムトラベルの研究を続けた。鈴葉が使っているタイムマシンは俺とダルの研究の賜物だが、その基礎理論はセルンが構築し、お前がなかったことにしてきた世界線においてマキセ・クリスが発展させたものだ。型式は C204 型。 C とはクリスティーナの頭文字だ。それが意味するところは理解してもらえると思う。とにかく因果は成立した。計画の最終段階について話そう。ダイバージェンスを変え、未知の世界線シュタインズゲートへ到達する計画だ。ちなみにシュタインズゲートと命名したのは俺だ。なぜシュタインズゲートなのかはお前ならわかるはず。特に意味はない。
Because it sounds cool. Perfect.
そのシュタインズゲートへ到達するのに必要な条件は2点ある。1つ、マキセ・クリスの命を救うこと。1つ、ドクター中鉢がロシアに持ち込んだ 半ばち論文をこの世から葬り去ること。だがその過去を変えようとしても無駄だった。お前は今そう思ったはずだ。世界は収束してしまう。その力が過去改変を許してくれなかった。そうだな。だが方法が間違っているだけだ。お前はクリスを助けることができる。いいか、よく聞くんだ。あの日7月28日、最初のお前は何も知らずにドクター中鉢の発表会に来ていたはずだ。その最初のお前自身が見たことをなかったことにしてはならない。それは確定した過去であり、世界線が収束した結果だからだ。だが騙すことはできる。どういうことだと言いたいのだろう。そう焦るな。これから説明する。騙す相手はお前自身だ。最初のお前は血まみれで倒れているマキセ・クリスを目撃している。それを見ていなければこれまでのお前、さらにはこれまでの俺のあらゆる行動がタイムパラドックスとなることはわかるか。クリスの死を目撃したお前が D メールを送ったことで、それはエシロンに捉えられてセルンの知るところとなった。アルファ世界線で経験したことを思い出せ。そこで起きたのはマユリの死だけではないはずだ。お前は生きているクリスと再会した。彼女を無理やりラボ面に迎え、共にタイムリープマシンを作った。わずか3週間だったが、お前はマキセ・クリスという一人の人間と共に過ごしたんだ。今そこにいるお前は、今ここにいる俺は、7月28日にクリスが死んだこのベータ世界線だけで生きてきた岡部倫太郎ではない。お前の記憶にはアルファ世界線へ生き、クリスと共に生き、マユリを救うために
This is a very long
多くの
video
思いを犠牲
attachment.
にして。
Like the last time I tried to attach a file to an email, it had like a 25 meg limit. I feel like this would be longer than that.
それでももがき続けた3週間の経験が存在しているはずだ。血まみれでラジガンの暗い通路に倒れているクリスの姿を見なければ。
Goodbye.
お前は誰に D メールを送ることもなかったし、それがエシロンに捕らえられることもなかった。
Yes, ma'am, you missed your chance to swing your sword.
その後クリスに再会した時お前が妙なことを口走ることもなく。
No worries, ma'am. I knew you were with how quickly you responded.
クリスがお前に興味を抱くこともなかった。そして今そこに立つお前がタイムトラベルしてでもクリスを助けたいと思うこともなかったんだ。2025年の俺がシュタインズゲートに到達するための計画を立てることもなく、
It's been a long time since I've had a bot, actually.
2025年の俺がこうしてお前にムービーメールを送ることもなく、ダルと共に2036年までにタイムマシンを完成させることもなく、鈴葉がタイムマシンでお前の元へ現れることもなかった。お前が経験したわずか3週間の世界線漂流を 否定してはいけない。なかったことにしてはいけない。いくつもの世界線を旅してきたからこそ、クリスを助けたいと強く願うお前がそこにいる。クリスを助けたいと願い、その後の人生すべてをタイムマシン開発に捧げた2025年の俺がいる。お前が立っているその場所は、俺たちがクリスを助けたいと願ったからこそ到達できた瞬間なんだ。世界線をどれか一つでも移動しなかった俺では、その瞬間へは到達できなかったんだ。すべて意味があったことなんだよ。俺の計画の下準備は完了した。あとはお前次第だ。最終ミッション、オペレーションスクルダの概要を説明する。
Okay, is this like the last thing we have to look up? Skuld, the youngest of the three Norn goddesses of fate in Norse mythology. Three sisters that tend the world tree Yggdrasil, has roots in Urd's fountain. Skuld is the Norn of the future, also a Valkyrie.
確定した過去を変えずに結果を変えろ。血まみれで倒れているマキセ・クリスト、それを目撃した岡部倫太郎、その過去は確定している。だが逆に言えば、確定しているのはそれだけだ。最初のお前を騙せ、世界を騙せ。それがシュタインズゲートに到達するための選択だ。健闘を祈るぞ、狂気のマッドサイエンティストよ。エル、プサイ、コングル。
And with that, the video ends. And also with that, I think we're going to call the stream here. I thought there would be another episode of this. But yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in. This has been a wild ride of an episode. Not the choice of Steins Gate, the choice that leads to Steins Gate. So yes, so I think, not making any promises, but I'm fairly confident that next Saturday will be the final episode. And also an announcement, I'd posted this in Discord, but if you're not there, the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky stream is moving from Mondays to Wednesdays permanently. So that's starting Wednesdays, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's just to work around some personal stuff in my life that has kind of made it a bit wonky the past month. That's caused some of the streams to be cancelled. So yeah, so that'll be the next few streams. But it's that wonderful time of the evening where we get to pass on the love that we have had here to someone else who is deserving of it. And as always, I am open to your suggestions. Looking through my list, I see Retwolf is playing Breath of the Wild. Pizza Pizza's playing Tetris as always. Irish Butler is doing some Dungeons and Dragons. JS Fear is playing Kingdom Hearts 3, and Don't Fight Ducks is playing Fallout New Vegas. Those are some options that I see. As always, I am open to suggestions from all of you. If I don't hear anything in, let's say, the next minute, I usually probably go with someone who's a bit lower on the viewership end who could use a little boost. Nothing stands out from him. Okay, I'll give people a minute. If not, I will probably go to Retwolf. I don't think I've actually rated Retwolf before. But they're playing Breath of the Wild. To be honest, I don't think I've really interacted a whole lot with Rat Wolf, but I have seen them around in a couple of streams, and I followed them, so I'm sure that they are a wonderful person, and that is good enough for me. And I'm always a sucker for people playing Legend of Zelda games. So let me get that set up. And there is the raid command. If you are subscribed, you can copy that. If not, please feel free to use whatever message you think would pass on the love to Rat Wolf when we go and raid them. But yes, once again, thank you everyone. You've been lovely. Take care of yourself.